Hello, everyone. I'm Eddie from Certification Partners, and I'm welcoming you to another edition of our Tech Talk Tuesday conversations. Today, I have the privilege and the honor of having a conversation with our friend Hector Guerra from Era Solutions. Hector, welcome to Tech Talk Tuesdays.
Eddie, glad to be here. Glad to be here. I was happy that I'm able to kind of give some insight of my own personal experience and also share some knowledge with, other veterans as myself that are trying to get into the IT field.
Yeah. Well, as Hector is mentioning, we do have a special edition here this month in November. There is more of a focus on veterans and Veterans Day. And Hector has a background in the service and military, and he's going to share his story in just a few minutes of how he's helping other servicemen and women prepare for just the workforce. So Hector, why don't you start off by sharing a little bit about your background, your personal story, and some of the challenges you had with transitioning into the workforce after your service.
A little bit about myself. I am a veteran. I spent 20 years in the Army. For those veterans that kind of understand the whole military concept and process, I was voluntold to be an Army recruiter. I really didn't know what I wanted to do prior to exiting the military. And as I mentioned before to your CEO, I got out in March of 2014. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what an industry was or what that was about. Um, I didn't have anyone to mentor me, especially when it came to, planning and mapping out a career path. And so, but honestly, being an Army recruiter did kind of help me in a way because I was able to think quickly on my feet. I did connect with a company in the gas and oil field industry, but it really wasn't my passion. It was back-breaking work, kind of paid about the same amount of money I was making in the military as an Army recruiter. But nevertheless, my real passion is to help veterans, to kind of guide them on a pathway into careers that offer, the ability to move up, um, career pay, not job pay, but career pay. Um, And in addition to connecting those transitioning service members that are exiting out of the military into meaningful career opportunities. And now, we're in the certification space because that's where the industry seems to be heading. They're much more interested in certification because certification actually shows mastery versus, having, going to college for 4 years. With college, you still need that experience. So this is where we're at now.
I just love that from kind of a pain point and developed a passion, and now it's turned into something of a full time. Can you tell us a little bit more about your company there and kind of some of the things you're doing to help those servicemen and women transition into the workplace?
Yeah, sure. So ERA Solutions was founded in 2015 out of Oklahoma. We are a service disabled veteran-owned small business, and what that means is that we're able to go after certain government contracts that fit within our business spectrum. In addition to that, ERA Solutions has been able to connect, military members within their last 6 months of service into apprenticeships and internships. So that's pretty much our bread and butter. In addition to that, we, during COVID, as you could recall, nobody was really hiring, no companies was hiring at that time, and so we had to transition pretty quickly. And what we've realized and learned is that the government, anytime there's a recession or a lack of employment, the government tends to throw money at training. And so we saw an opportunity there, and so now we're in the not only the employment placement space, but also in uh, career planning and job training through certification programs. And that's when we first connected with you guys to kind of build that long lasting relationship.
Uh, Thank you for what you're doing, Hector, and of course, from all of us at Certification Partners, and hopefully all those that are watching. We just want to thank you for your service and the men and women that are a part of your organization, kind of going through your training and placement. We thank them as well. But if there's an individual out there that is 6 months out or so, what would you recommend to them to do? How can they connect with you? Are you more local? Are you regional? Or do you work with individuals across the nation?
Well, so we do have a special memorandum of agreement with the Army, and we have another memorandum of agreement with the Department of Defense under the Skill Bridge program. And so from time to time, we do get transitioning service members through the DoD Skill Bridge website that are interested in our program. So that's one way they can connect with us. Another way that they connect with us is through word of mouth, believe it or not. We have a very high placement rate. We're about 90% successful job placement with these folks that are in our program. To say, you know, what really drives success and in getting into our programs is, the service member firstly has to sit down with one of our transitioning advisors. These are fellow veterans that have also navigated the transition process. What we do is we kind of ask specific questions like, "Hey, do you like to work outdoors? Would you like to work indoors? What's your passion?" Getting that service member to start thinking about themselves in pretty much a selfish way. As you would know, military members, they're not about themselves. They're about the cause, the mission, and it's very it's very intuitive to them when they realize that it's no longer about Mother Army or Mother Marine or any of the other branches. It's more about them because they're getting out and now they need to think about, okay, where am I going to work? How am I going to take care of myself outside of the military? Uh, I guess you can call it the industrial complex. If they're wanting to connect with us, you know, they can reach us on the internet by just going to our website, erasolutions.us.
From a job placement standpoint within the industry, I mean, you talked about training, and that you have a high placement rate of about 90%. What are some of the employers that you're working with? What are some of those specific job roles that are in demand, or maybe skill sets that these employers are looking for? What were you noticing, or what have you been hearing from industry?
With the way the world is going, everything is tech. I have trucking companies that are asking me for software engineers. They're asking for IT people. And so it really doesn't matter what the industry is. Somehow information technology industry is tied to all industries. And so the demand that we see are in administrative type roles. And those administrative roles are basically tied to software development, application development. Companies are finding ways to cut, not really cut their workforce, but, kind of streamline the processes as to how money comes in, how money, is leaving their business, and, what's the quickest way to go out there and to find, or to generate lead generation. And so a lot of the positions that our folks are getting into are positions with WordPress. And we saw the writing on the wall about a year ago that this is definitely a way to go. Software engineering is definitely a very high need.